I really want to encourage you not to see your needs and your desires and your preferences as inconveniences. See them as part of who you are, what you're made up of, how you're built.
Welcome to Breakthrough Mode, the podcast where we intentionally get into the driver's seat of our lives, shift out of monotony and mediocrity, and step on the gas towards becoming the person we were always meant to become.
Hello and welcome to episode 288 on the Breakthrough Mode podcast. I am your host, Megan Bauer. Thank you so much for joining me and pushing play on today's episode. This week, we have been talking about saying yes to yourself. And I hope that over the course of this week, what you have really understood and really gotten is that this doesn't necessarily mean these big, drastic changes. This doesn't mean quitting. This doesn't mean abandoning. This doesn't mean, anything actually major or huge or life altering. This means saying yes to yourself in all of these tiny ways that honor who it is you are, how it is you are built, and what it is you prefer, what it is you are called to, what it is that you were made to do, express yourself, etc., etc. These are about daily decisions to honor yourself. Truly, that has been the core of this week. So if you went through this week and you started noticing all the little ways that you ignore yourself or all the little ways that you could say yes to yourself, and even if you choose not to, it's not really about the actual choice. It's about the acknowledgement of what it is that you want. Truly, that is what this is about. A different choice can be made. I've said that over and over this week. A different choice can be made. The point that I'm making here is the acknowledgement. Because if you don't acknowledge yourself and what it is that you want and what it is that you prefer or desire or need, then you're not putting it on the table as an option. That's when it's a problem. When it's on the table as an option, then you get to make a true choice. You could be like, yes, this is what this person wants and this is what I want, and I have a true choice here. I am truly choosing not to do what I want, or I'm truly choosing to do what I want. You have the true choice there. So that's what this week is about, putting your desire, your need, your preference on the table as an option. So if you're out of practice with this, like lots of us are in varying degrees, start small. Start to say yes to yourself when your body feels like, I need to go outside and get some sunshine. Go for a walk. Take the bath. Go get a soda. Go do whatever it is, some small thing that signifies to you that you are listening to yourself, you are honoring yourself, your needs, and your desires. Ask for help. That's a good one. This is one that we often get bad at. Ask for help when you need or even just want help. You don't have to do it all yourself, especially as I have been getting the house ready to sell and things like that. Asking for help has been a difficult and necessary and really wanted thing. Yes, I could paint the baseboards all by myself, or I could have a friend come help me and really have a great time doing it as well, which did actually happen. And that can be a really great time well spent doing something and having this beautiful companionship and this beautiful conversation. But it's difficult sometimes to ask for help. So I'd encourage you to do that because in the end, it feels good. It does. And they get that choice of whether they're going to serve or whether it is that they want to do. But you're giving them a choice on the table for service, which people can do what they want with, right? My friend could have said no, and that would have been fine too. But she said yes. And then we both had this wonderful time. This is about intentionally creating the time and space for you. And I'm using the word intentionally here. Intentionally. I'm doing that on purpose. This is not doing all the things all day long and then seeing how much time and how much energy is left for you at the end of the day. That's a problem. Habitually, that's a problem. Maybe every once in a while, that's just how the day goes. Some days get away from you, some days you are spent reacting, and it is that's how it goes. But as a whole, habitually make time for yourself. This is one of the big reasons my ritual is so important to me. It's at 4:35 in the morning. There is nothing going on at 4:35 in the morning except for me taking care of me. And this is such a great way for me to take care of me without feeling like I'm sacrificing anything else, right? Everybody else is asleep. No one needs anything from me. No one is expecting me to do anything. I get to intentionally take this time for me. I have given myself an hour and a half to do whatever it is I want to do, I feel called to do, to take care of me. And sometimes by the end of the day, there is no time left or there is no energy left. Most of the time, there's no energy left. It's like, yeah, I would love to do something else to kind of rewind and relax, but I'm too tired to even unwind. Like, I just want to go to bed. So don't leave yourself to the end. You deserve to have an intentional time in your day for you. You do. You deserve that. That is a big way that you can say yes to yourself. And it doesn't have to happen at 4:35 in the morning. It can happen whenever you decide it happens. You get to make that choice, but this is a huge piece to saying yes to yourself. Give yourself the time and space to take care of you. And if you're like, well, Megan, I don't even know what to do with myself for an hour and a half, or I wouldn't even know what to do with myself to take care of myself, to say yes to myself, that was me. When I first knew that I needed a morning ritual and that it would change my life, I remember getting up and being like, what now? What do I do now? I don't even know what to do with myself. And it felt so pointless that I was like, I might as well just go back to bed because this feels dumb. I get that. I get that. That's when you tie it into who it is you want to become. What would that person do with their time? What would they do with intentional time for themselves? And if you're still drawing a blank, I encourage you to get on my email list because I'm going to be opening up some coaching opportunities really soon and I can help you figure that out. I truly can. Because that's a tricky piece. But you need this time for yourself, this time and this space, not at the end of the day when your energy may or may not be there, when the time may or may not be there. Carve out intentional time for yourself every day and start saying yes to yourself in that very big, although seemingly small way. The next thing that I want to encourage you to do is listen to yourself before you respond. When somebody asks you what you want or what you would prefer, listen to your own responses. And that might be like, I don't know, let me think about it and I'll get back to you. Or that might be like, I'm not really quite sure. I'm going to feel into it and let me, get back to you or whatever it is. Listen to yourself, your own desires, your own needs, what your heart is calling to you. And if you are really good at ignoring yourself, this is going to be a practice. This is going to be like, what do I want? And give yourself the time to sit on the question and let something come up. One of my favorite things about AI these days, I don't use AI a whole ton, but I love that AI can give me options. I am the kind of person that I need things to respond to. So if Jake asks me, what do you want for dinner? I might legitimately not know, especially if I've been going all day long and I haven't thought about dinner even once. It'll be like, I have no idea what I want for dinner. I've been running all day long, thinking about other things all day long. I haven't even had the time to consider it. And so if he starts listing off like, okay, well, do you want hamburgers? I'm like, ooh, no. Or do you want pasta? I'm like, oh, that could do. Or do you want Chinese, whatever. And he starts listing off things for me to respond to. That gives me an opportunity to feel into it. ChatGPT does the same thing for me sometimes. Where I'm like, give me options about this, and it will give me options, and I can feel into each one and figure out what it is that I want. That is a great way to use AI, to just have AI give you choices. Give me at least 15 options on where I could go for dinner. Give me at least 15 options on, what to talk about on the podcast next. Give me at least 15 options on whatever. And see what happens. See how you feel. Choose, see if you have some sort of internal response to it of like, oh, that would be fun. That feels good. This is an intentional thing to create the space or even to create the options for you to listen to yourself on what it is that you want, what it is that you need, what it is that's calling to you. I really want to encourage you not to see your needs and your desires and your preferences as inconveniences. See them as part of who you are, what you're made up of, how you're built. I shared a quote on one of the Monday episodes. It was the Monday from last week. I don't remember what episode it was, by Oprah Winfrey. She said something about like, your needs and desires are like your own personal user manual. This is how you were built. This is the direction that you go. This is what you were created for. This is your purpose. It gives you all sorts of insights into who you are, what's important to you, and which direction to go. These things are not inconveniences. They are information. They're information. So use it as information and don't use it as like this, I'm bothering everybody else, because that's what I do a lot. And nobody appreciates it when I do it. Nobody actually likes it when I'm like, but my needs are bothering you. He's like, what are you even talking about? You are not bothering anybody. You are a human being with needs and desires and preferences, and you get to honor that. And you have to honor it first. Truly, in order for anybody else to honor it, you have to honor it first. In order for anybody else to compromise with you or for things to go your way, you have to have the self-trust, the awareness to even voice it, to put it as an option on the table. Okay, here's what I have for you next. Practice these tiny acts of honoring yourself. I mentioned putting in a morning ritual. I honestly think that everybody should have their own morning ritual that fills them up, that gets them ready to be present in their day, that gets them ready to be intentional with their day and their choices and their actions. But if you're not quite ready for a morning ritual, that's okay. There are tons of other ways that you can choose to honor yourself. And I need to throw this in there because my morning ritual starts at 4:35. Your morning ritual could start at 9:45. It doesn't actually matter what time it's at. It matters that you start your day intentionally. I don't care what time you get up. That's not the actual point. The actual point is that you're starting your day intentionally on your terms and in a way that fulfills you, in a way that you say yes to you, in a way that feels good to you. I turn a lot of people off by saying that my morning ritual starts unholy early, but that's not the actual point. That's not the point. It doesn't matter when your ritual starts. It matters that you have one and that it's intentional and that it's fulfilling and that it honors you. That's what matters. Okay? Okay. So, practicing tiny acts of honoring yourself. This could be making and keeping a promise to yourself. And that could look like I am going to do all of the chores before 12:30, and then at 12:30 I'm going to go get a soda. And then when 12:30 rolls around, actually go get the soda. Like, do the thing. Follow through on yourself. There have been so many times where I get up early and I'm like, "Okay, I'm going to take a nap today." And then I don't. I actually very rarely take the nap, even when I've done all of the things. I just keep going. I just keep running. I bowl over myself and I just keep doing things. That is a broken promise to myself. I should not make promises to myself that I don't actually intend on following through on. That doesn't honor my body's need for rest. That's like putting the carrot on the stick and then just keep going. That's not the point. You can put the carrot on the stick and then actually give yourself the carrot. This honors yourself. This honors your desires. This honors who it is you are, your preferences, and your needs. You can also honor yourself and say yes to yourself by protecting your time and by prioritizing the things that are most important to you. So this could be, taking care of the kids or taking care of the house or whatever, or it could be something else. But being clear and honest about what is most important, what actually deserves your time, and in what order will allow you the ability to make those choices that truly honor your needs, desires, and preferences. Again, this is not about selfishness. This is about acknowledging what's most important and acknowledging that there is a hierarchy to what's most important and making choices accordingly. I've also said numerous times throughout this week that sometimes the only thing that is needed is simply voicing your needs, your desires, and your preferences. Allow yourself to voice it. Just voice it. Put it as an option on the table. Allow it to be there. Give it the space to breathe. And then you get to make the choice about whether you do what it is that you want to do or whether it is you do what somebody else wants to do. Allow it to be a choice. Put it on the table, voice it, put it out there. This is, of course, a practice. And the more you do it, the easier it'll be, the safer it will feel, and the more self-trust you will develop. And it's interesting here to put in safety because sometimes we feel like it's unsafe to voice our desires or our needs or our preferences, that people won't like us or people will think we're selfish or blah, 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 whatever. People will misunderstand, whatever. Because you are safe to voice what it is that you need and desire and prefer. You are a human being on this planet. You deserve your space. You deserve your time. You deserve what's most important to you. That's part of who you are. That's part of your vibrancy. That's part of your calling. So I invite you to practice this. Practice it in the tiny ways, even if it only affects you, even if it is just going out and sitting in the sun for 10 minutes and ignoring anything that looks like productivity. Honoring yourself, honoring your desires and your needs and your preferences. To wrap up, I want to reiterate what I kind of opened this episode with. Saying yes to yourself, honoring yourself, doesn't necessarily mean quitting something big, making drastic changes, blowing up your life. Maybe it does mean that, but it doesn't have to. Saying yes to yourself means that you value yourself, your time, your energy, what's important to you, what your calling on this earth is. That's what this is about. It's about you being just as important, just as worthy, just as deserving as everyone else. You can serve and say yes to yourself. You can say yes to others and say yes to yourself. These don't have to be mutually exclusive. Of course, there are situations where they will be mutually exclusive. And that happens. That's okay. That's part of life. The point I'm trying to get across here is it doesn't always have to be mutually exclusive. There gets to be this balance where you say yes to someone, something, something else that even if you don't like it, and you can say yes to yourself at the same time. That is an option. I want to leave you with one closing thought. Your life isn't built from one giant yes. There are the turning point yeses, there are the breakthrough yeses. Absolutely. But more often than not, it's built through hundreds of tiny yeses. And we want to be sure that when you are saying yes, you are not also saying no to yourself, to what's most important to you, to your health, to your joy, to your peace, to your calling on this planet. This isn't about saying no for no's sake or saying yes for yes's sake. It's about being intentional. Of course it is. Of course it is. That's what I have for you today. I will have some journal prompts for you in your inbox tomorrow to help you work through this and some of the feelings that might come up as you retrain yourself to say yes to yourself. Until next time, I totally love you. Bye for now.